Hi everyone, welcome to this Let's Speak English Twitch stream. My name is Hannah. I'm one of the coaches here at Let's Speak English, and I'm really excited to be here on the Twitch today, teaching you some inglés útil para el día a día. So today I want to do some really useful exercises together. I want to do some translation exercises and work in the chat a lot. So make sure you're following the chat. I've also pinned a link in the chat so that you can check out our online classes. But I'll talk to you more about our online classes, our online academy, the gym, in a minute. So today what I wanted to focus on was the use of the verb to get. Let's put it in the chat. The use of the verb to get. Okay, so this is an extremely useful verb in English, an extremely common verb, and a very extremely important verb in English. So if you don't know how to use the verb to get, well, I recommend that you get to know it. You start learning it because it's very important, it's very common, and it's used in a lot of different ways. It can have a lot of different meanings depending on the context that you use this verb. So we're going to get started, and I'm going to give you a brief explanation of how we use this verb. So the verb to get can be used to mean to obtain something, like obtener algo. So, for example, if I asked you, I don't know, where did you get that book? It's like obtener o tipo conseguir. So let's put it in the chat. Where did you get that book? I'm asking, where did you buy that book? ¿Dónde compraste? ¿Dónde conseguiste ese libro? So you can ask someone, instead of saying, where did you buy? Where did you obtain? Which sounds really weird. You can just say, where'd you get that? Okay. If you like someone's shoes, where did you get your shoes? If you like someone's earrings, where did you get those earrings? I love them. So we can use get to ask someone where they bought or where they obtained something. In the same way, it can mean receive, recibir. So, ¿qué recibiste en tu cumpleaños el año pasado? What did you get on your birthday last year? What did you receive? ¿Qué te regalaron? What did they give you? So let's write it in the chat. What did you get on your birthday last year? We're talking about like presents, things like that. What did you get on your birthday last year? Okay, or what did you get for your birthday? We would sometimes say, let's put it in the chat, to get something for your birthday or for Christmas, right? So that would probably be more common. What you get for your birthday? What you get for Christmas? Okay. And remember, in the past, get becomes got, okay? So to answer, what did you get for your birthday? I might say, I got, en plan, yo recibí, or I got, let me think. I got a new phone, let's say. I got a new phone for my birthday last year. And that's what you can say. So what did you get? Because it's a question, we don't need to put it in the past because we've got that question marker did. What did you get? I got no sé qué, a new phone, money, shoes, whatever you want. So that's one meaning, and that's a really, really common meaning of get, okay? There's another great use of get, and it's one that I use all the time, okay? As a native speaker, I always use get to mean arrive, en plan llegar, okay? Personally, and I'm 90% sure this goes for most native speakers, we don't usually use that word arrive in spoken English, in conversations. It's really common to use to get to mean to arrive. Let's put it in the chat. So to get to mean to arrive. Llegar. So, for example, ¿a qué hora llegaste al trabajo? What time did you get to work? So we see to get to, what time did you get to work? The thing with this structure, this get to, is there is an interesting rule that we must pay attention to. When our destination, let's put it in the chat, always in the chat, when the destination is here, there, or home, we don't use to after get. I'll explain. Let's say it in Spanish. ¿A qué hora llegaste a casa? What time did you get home? So notice we don't say what time did you get to home, but we could say what time did you get to work? What time did you get to school? But the destination is home, so what time did you get home? That's the main difference, okay? ¿Cuándo llegaste aquí? Think about it. When did you get here? Because here, there, or home, we don't use to. So let's see. When did you get here? When did you get here? Okay, that's exactly how we do it. So, when did you get here? When did you get there? When are you going to get here? ¿Cuándo vas a llegar aquí? When are you going to get here? That's another really good one. I like that one. But I would say, when are you going to get here? Super fast. If you can say it like me, you're a pro. When are you gonna get here? Es que el gonna en inglés es fundamental para entender a los nativos. Digo, en plan, yo casi nunca digo going to. A ver, escribo esto en un email, en un correo electrónico, pero en las conversaciones diarias yo siempre digo gonna. Y gonna is the contraction of going to. So, when you gonna get here? In that informal, very fast spoken English, you almost don't use the verb to be. It almost disappears. When you gonna get here? The R in there disappears. Anyway, that's another topic. I could do another thing about, that fast spoken English that will really help you understand natives if you are aware of it. But really good if you can use gonna. When you gonna get here? When are you going to get here? So that's another use of the verb get. So we have another use, and it means to become. Let's put it in the chat. To become, or to change state. Okay, so what I mean by that, a lot of words were in Spanish, maybe like enfadarse, no sé, ponerse nervioso, mejorar, casarse. These kind of things, you're becoming something. In English, they tend to be used with get and the past participle. So what did I say? Enfadarse. To get angry. O también to get mad is what we can say. To get angry, to get mad, like disgustarse, to get upset, as well. So you're changing from one emotion to another. You're becoming angry. So therefore, we can use get in that case, okay? Or for example, está oscureciendo. It's getting dark. Because it's becoming dark, right? So it's pretty easy. You don't have to do too much thinking about using this. But get is a super useful verb in these cases. And then, of course, there are so many phrasal verbs with get. And that's a whole other thing. So we can talk about that in today's class too. Super important, all the phrasal verbs. A mí me encantan los phrasal verbs. I think they're so useful. They're so fun. They're really important. So yeah, we'll talk about that because there are a lot of phrasal verbs with get. So what I wanted to do now is to do some practice with the verb to get. So I'm going to tell you in Spanish a sentence, and it's going to be one that you can say in English with get. And I want you, well, if there's anyone watching, I'd like you to type in the correct translation in the chat. But if not, I'll type it in and I'll say to you because I'm going to record this. So let's get started. Okay, here's the first sentence, and we'll write it in Spanish in the chat too. Ella consiguió un trabajo en una empresa de tecnología. So, consiguió un trabajo. How do we say that in English using get? Think about it. And it's in the past, so don't forget. She got a job. What was it? At a tech company. Una empresa de tecnología. It's really common to say a tech company. You can say like a technology company. Not really. A tech company is what is most common to say. We shorten it. A tech company. So she got a job. Conseguir un empleo. Conseguir un trabajo. To get a job. Okay. Really common to say it like this. ¿Me puedes conseguir un empleo? ¿Me puedes conseguir un trabajo? Can you get me a job? You might hear people say that in English. If they know someone who works in a company, if they have, un enchufe, we would say, if they have good connections, buen enchufe, or friends in high places. You might also hear this when we're talking about un enchufe in English. This doesn't translate exactly the same, but more or less. Good connections, So, to get a job. What about this one? Like I said, it can mean obtener or like traer in a case, in a way. For example, ¿me puedes traer un vaso de agua? ¿Me puedes traer un vaso de agua? ¿Me puedes traer un vaso de agua? How would we say that in English? And yeah, we're going to use get in this sentence. Can you get me a glass of water? Let's put it in the chat. So this is perfectly fine to say. You can, of course, say, can you bring me a glass of water? No problem at all. But this is maybe just a little more informal, I would say. You get me a glass of water? Go on, you will. In Ireland, it's really common. We ask for things and we use the future with will to ask or like make suggestions or make requests, where maybe in other parts of the English speaking world, they might make a suggestion like, could you, shall we, should, and things like that. But in Ireland, we might say, instead of, can you get me a glass of water, please? We'll say, will you get me a glass of water? You will. And, if someone says, nah, we'll be like, yeah, you will. So that's just a little interesting toquecito irlandés. Will you get me a glass of water? I will. So, using get rather than bring. Of course you can use bring, but you can use get. Okay, what about this one? Another one talking about that comprar, obtener vibe. ¿Dónde compraste tus zapatos? So it's a question. So of course we want to be sure about that question in the past structure. Don't get it wrong. We know how to do it. So, ¿dónde compraste tus zapatos? Where did you get your shoes? Where did you get your shoes? And listen again, el toquecito nativo que tengo yo, claro, porque soy nativa. Where did you get your shoes? This is how I'd say it really fast. Where'd you get your shoes? It's like when we're speaking fast in conversations, anything that isn't crucial to the meaning of the sentence, really, like a main word, any like auxiliaries, modals, helping words, they disappear. It becomes like, where'd you get your shoes? Where's the did? It's gone. But I don't expect non-native speakers to speak like that because it's so hard. But if you can understand that and you know what I'm saying, then ya eres un pro. So where did you get your shoes? You can ask, where did you buy your shoes? No problem. But to give a little more informal vibe and using the verb to get sound even more native, where did you get your shoes? It works really well. So let's do some more translations. We're talking about get can mean to become or to change state, right? So, for example, empieza a hacer frío. Empieza a hacer frío. So, it's starting to become cold. It's starting to be cold. It's getting cold. It is getting cold. We can use that. So to get cold, to become cold. Like, oh, right now, oh, I'm getting a bit cold. Can you put on the heating? That's a good one. And especially if you're in the UK or Ireland, this is probably a request that you'll make. It's getting cold. Can you put the heating on? Of course, to put the heating on, there's a good phrasal verb, to put on. Poner la calefacción, no? So this is something I would probably say at my mum's house at home when she lived in Ireland. It's something I sometimes might say here at the office. It gets a little cold here sometimes. Or maybe at a friend or relative's house. I'm getting cold. Okay, will you put the heating on? Because I'm Irish, I'll say, will you put the heating on? But we'll be nice, polite and proper. Could you put the heating on is what we're going to say. And that's it. So that's that the changing the state, becoming something. We can use get. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with using a different verb. You can express the same meaning in the same way, no problem. But get is just that little bit more native, natural, informal, conversational vibe. And if that's what you want, then use it, you gotta use it. So what about this one? Let's do another translation. ¿Cuándo te casaste? ¿Cuándo te casaste? So casarse. How do we say that in English? When did you get married? Let's put it in the chat. When did you get married? So casarse, to get married, like I said. So when did you get married? Okay, because estar casado is to be married, but to get married, it's like that, the day that you become a married person, right? The day of your wedding, tu boda. So to get married. So yeah, to get married. There aren't really a lot of other alternatives for that one. You kind of have to become married. No, get married. It's fine. Okay, how do we say this one? Mejorarás en inglés si practicas más. So remember I said mejorar is a becoming noun, so we can use get. So you will get better at English if you practice more. Let's put it in the chat. You will get better at English if you, what did I say? Practice more. I keep forgetting what I say. You'll get better at English if you practice more. And it's true. There's no truer sentence than that. All you need is practice. People think they can just buy some course, watch some videos, and in 3 months they'll be fluent. I'm telling you now, 99% of the time it's not possible. You need to be putting in the work. You need to be practicing using the language every day, reading, attending class, watching videos. You need to have experience with the language. And it's one thing that I think why Spanish speakers have such a problem with pronunciation in English is that they're not used to hearing English because everything is dubbed. El doblaje, to dub is a verb. everything, or to be dubbed, right? So all the videos, all the movies, series, are dubbed. So you've, grown up and lived your life without hearing real English. And so I think that's why pronunciation is such a struggle for some Spanish speakers. I mean, I'm in no place to generalize, but I'd spent 6 months in Portugal 3 years ago. And in my experience, so in Portugal, they don't dub everything. They hardly dub anything, actually. And so in the cinema, everything's in original version with Portuguese subtitles. And in my experience with talking to Portuguese people, they spoke pretty good English, like young people, I mean. And it's there's a stark contrast. Oh, stark, I like that vocabulary. A stark contrast, or a stark difference. It's like a very profound, a noticeable difference between how the Portuguese people speak English and how Spanish people speak English. It's a huge generalization, okay? There's obviously exceptions and things, but it's interesting. So you need to watch things in English if you want to get better. Mejorar. Si quieres mejorar, well, you have to practice. And what better way to practice than by signing up for classes with me or with us here at Let's Speak English. So I'm one of the teachers and I'm in class in our online academy, The Gym. Tenemos clases todos los días, de lunes a viernes, y con todos los niveles, de A1 a C1. Y las clases son con profesores nativos, son muy amenas, muy divertidas, muy duras. Y bueno, tienes que apuntarte a nuestra academia, porque si tú realmente quieres marcar la diferencia en tu inglés, esta es la manera de hacerlo. En plan, ya. Y el enlace está aquí en el chat. Lo vuelvo a enviar. Ahí lo tienes. Está fijado también. So make sure you check out that link if you're interested in classes with us, okay, in our online academy, The Gym. And the great thing about The Gym is that you can join at any time. So there's no specific course or start or end date. You can join the classes whenever you want, because every class is unique, different, and we always practice a really great grammar topic or vocabulary topic or something through real conversations. So that's that. So if you want to practice more like this, check out the link. So let's get back to our grammar, our little free class today, talking about the verb to get. So we're doing some translations. I just said, mejorarás. What did I say? Mejorarás en inglés si practicas más. You will get better at English if you practice more. So let's keep going with some translations. How do you say in English, estoy empeorando? Estoy empeorando. So this is another one. It's something that's changing state. It's becoming peor. Empeorar, to get worse. So peor is worse. So empeorar, to get worse. So estoy empeorando, I am getting worse. Or con la contracción muy importante, I'm getting worse. Que si tú realmente quieres sonar como un nativo a la hora de hablar, tienes que usar las contracciones sí o sí. Plan, yo siempre hablo con las contracciones, y como lo he dicho antes, con lo de saltar palabras o reducir las palabras, en plan, es súper importante. Hay que saber esto. So, I'm getting worse, or I'm getting better. Estoy mejorando. I hope it is mejorando. I hope it's getting better, rather than things are getting worse for you. So, mejorar, get better. Empeorar, get worse. All right. So, another one. Let's do another one. No te pongas triste. No te pongas triste. Por favor, no te pongas triste. How do we say that in English? So another one, it's changing state. It's becoming. We want to say to get sad. Ponerse triste, to get sad. So this one is like an action, or not an action, a command. The imperative. The imperative is so easy in English. Don't get sad, okay? Don't get sad, no worries, okay? So don't get sad. So those are some with that becoming, the changing state vibe, super important. What about then some more with to get, meaning llegar or arrive? So like I said, to get to is llegar. But if the destination is here, there, or home, we forget about that too, the second two. So, how do we say, llegué a casa anoche a las 9? How do we say that? Llegué a casa. So remember, what's the destination? And it's in the past. I got home last night at 9 o'clock. At 9 is fine. So at 9 o'clock, because the destination is home. So no digas I got to home. Suena muy raro y nadie lo dice. I got home. Okay. ¿A qué hora llegaste al trabajo? Tell me in English. ¿A qué hora llegaste al trabajo? What time did you get to work? So the destination is not here, there, or home. So we can use get to in that case. And it's super easy. Okay. So today I got to work at... What time did I get to work? I got to work today at 1:30. Or it's really common, I would say 1:30. I got to work... Oh, let's put the whole thing. I got to work at 1:30. And that's it. That's all you have to do. So in the past, it's got. In the present perfect, it's quite interesting. We can say I have got. So it's the present perfect. So I would say lately I have got. For example, lately I have got worse at Spanish. Or lately I've got better at Spanish. Let's be more positive. Lately I have got better at Spanish. But en los Estados Unidos, se puede decir I have gotten. I've gotten. Like that, okay? Si hablas con la gramática de los Estados Unidos, pues también tienes que hablar con el acento. I've gotten. Yo no digo gotten, yo digo got, porque soy irlandesa y yo sigo las reglas del inglés británico. But yeah, I've gotten, I have got. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which one you use. Everyone's going to understand. So, more translations with got. Let's have a look. I've got another really interesting meaning of the verb to get. It's a super informal, conversational way, and it means to understand. To get, and this is pretty informal, okay? To understand. Like pillar. ¿Lo pillas? Do you get it? This is a perfect question you can ask to anyone. The next time you talk to an English speaker and if you say something to them, once you finish speaking or saying what you have to say, you can ask them, so you get it? And listen to how I said that. Here, back with this reduced speech. Do you get it? It's like the do you, they just zoop, they come together. Do you get it? Do you get it? You get it? Lo pillas? Lo entiendes? That's literally it. Or like, no entendí el chiste. I didn't get the joke. So, entender un chiste, to get a joke. Or to get someone's humor. To understand someone's humor. To get. For example, to get Irish humor. Some people have told me they don't get Irish humor because we're very sarcastic people. And it's true, we're very sarcastic. To me, everything is a joke and everything is something that I can make fun of. Burlar, everything, I make fun of everything. That's just Irish humor. And some people have told me they don't get it. No entienden mi humor. And that's okay. It is what it is. So to get can also mean entender, pillar. It's very interesting. It can also mean like if you spend a lot of time studying something and you know it's like llegar a entender como un concepto. Por ejemplo, ella entendió el concepto después de estudiar. She got the concept after studying. Like she studied a lot and then she finally understood the concept that she was studying. ¿Qué hacemos aquí? Estamos aprendiendo inglés, Adam. Gracias por tu comentario. Estamos practicando el verbo to get en inglés y estoy explicando algunas maneras de usar este verbo. Si quieres practicar conmigo, si quieres interactuar, pues yo te digo algunas frases en español y quiero que escribas la traducción correcta en el chat. Muy bien, Master Chief, we're getting knowledge. We are receiving knowledge. That's a perfect use of the verb to get. Well done. You are getting better at English with me, with the verb to get. Pues no sabía que había gente viendo este vídeo, de verdad. Pues, a ver, cuando yo digo alguna frase en español, quiero que escribáis la frase correcta en inglés en el chat. Por favor, ¿por qué no? So, let's do some more translations with get. Y yo digo de todas formas. Here's a really good one. How could we say this in English? Me confundí. Me confundí. So this is a changing state one. Becoming. Confundir is confused. So how do we say that one? And it's in the past. Me confundí. Okay. How do we say that in English? Me confundí. Bueno. We want to say, I got confused. So confundirse, to get confused. I got confused. Okay. That's how we say that. I got confused. Or like me lié is very Spanish, that one. Me lié. I got mixed up. I say this one all the time. Siempre me lío con los verbos. O no. Siempre me lío, no sé. I get mixed up with things in Spanish a lot. I'm trying to think of something in particular. I get mixed up with masculine and feminine so much. And it's really bad because it's algo muy sencillo. But I always get mixed up. Okay? I always get mixed up. Siempre me lío. So, to get mixed up, to get confused, confundirse, okay? Another one about changing the state or becoming something. No te emociones. No te emociones. Another command. No te emociones. So, emocionarse in English. To get excited. So, no te emociones. Don't get excited. Don't get excited. That's how we say that one. So another, changing the state, becoming something, becoming excited, getting excited. I love the verb to get. It's so useful. Honestly, I use it all the time. I mean, it's not like I think and I count every time I use the verb to get, but I know in my everyday speech, I'm using this verb all the time. So, it's also involved in a lot of phrasal verbs, like I said. Hola Joshua, bienvenido. It's also used in a lot of phrasal verbs, like I said, right? So, levantarse, maybe the most basic phrasal verb, and maybe one of the first phrasal verbs that people learn in English, to get up. So, levántate, get up. Okay, to get up is really easy. Get up, okay? So, ¿a qué hora te levantaste esta mañana? In English, how would we say that? What time did you get up this morning? Let's put it in the chat. What time did you get up this morning? What time did you get? And listen again, going back to that fast, conversational, informal, reduced speech. What time did you get up this morning? Notice how the did disappears. But this is where you have to be careful. You still have to say the did. If you say, what time you get up this morning, suena raro. It sounds like a robot. But if you say it like me, what time do you get up this morning? It's like, j. It's always with that did you. A ver, I don't expect you to say it, but I expect you to understand me. I expect you to be aware that this is how natives speak. And if you can be aware of that, it's going to help you understand us a lot more. Because siempre es el problema que la gente me dice, no entiendo a los nativos cuando hablan. Por eso, because no one has ever told you that we don't speak the way you think we speak. But we're here to change that, okay? So, and you need to know all the uses of the verb to get because it's very important, very common. So here's another really good phrasal verb with get that I really like. Llevarse bien. Let's put it in the chat. Llevarse bien or llevarse. In English, how do we say that? So for example, nos llevamos bien. Nos llevamos bien. How would we say that in English? Well, I'll give you a clue. It's with get. Okay. So we say to get on or to get along. To get on, to get along. And that's it. Really easy. So then to say nos llevamos bien, we get along. And you can add we get along well at the end, for example. We get along or we get on well. That's another one. It's really simple, really nice. We get along well, we get on well. Or in the negative, we don't get on. We don't get on well. Okay. So, it's really common for people to say, yes, Master Chief, get on well, perfect. Maybe I'm going too fast, eh? I'll slow down a little bit. I'll give you some more time to write your answers in the chat. But thank you, Master Chief 6635. That's perfect. Get on well. But yeah, it's really, really common to hear this like, oh, I don't get on well with my family, sadly. Or some people might say, oh, I get on really well with my family, and use that really to, emphasize it. And there's a really good phrase that I love, and it's to get on with someone like a house on fire. Like a house on fire. Como me encanta la expresión. And this means llevarse de, well, no quiero jurar, no quiero decir palabrotas, pero ya imagináis, to get on really well, like really, really well with someone, okay? So, and usually we use this one cuando te llevas bien con alguien desde el primer momento. En plan, el primer momento que conoces a alguien y llevas muy bien con esa persona. So if you meet someone and you get on really well with them from the first moment, you say you get on like a house on fire. And I believe this kind of, because most people, they see house on fire and they think it's bad, but think about it. A house on fire, it is very quick, right? It starts in one place and then maybe it goes to the whole house very, very quickly. So I think that's the idea behind that expression is that the friendship or the connection between these two people has grown, ha crecido, muy rápido, very quickly, okay? So like, la amistad ha crecido de forma muy rápida. Yeah. So basically, that's the kind of meaning behind that expression, to get on with someone like a house on fire. So for example, I get on like a house on fire. I'll write it in the chat. I get on like a house on fire with my flatmate, con mi compañera de piso. Flatmate, or you can also say roommate. Oops, wait, let me write it correctly. Compañero, compañera de piso. I get on like a house on fire with her. We got on like a house on fire from the very first moment that we met, okay? We were telling jokes, saying stupid stuff. We went out for drinks. We went party. The very first day we met, we got on like a house on fire. So it's a perfect example of this sentence. So if you're watching, you can send me a message in the chat. Tell me who you get on with like a house on fire. And in the meantime, we're going to continue with the verb to get. We've got a few minutes left before I'm going to go. So we've got some more phrasal verbs with get. And here's a really good one that I really like. Arreglárselas. Or me las apaño. Defenderse. There's different ways. How do we say that in English? There's a specific preposition we use for this one. Me las apaño. So it's very simple. Another phrasal verb. Maybe give a moment in case there are a couple people watching. So give maybe a little moment if they want to write what they think in the chat. So me las apaño. How might you say that in English? So it is with get. Clue. It's with get. But what preposition? Think about it. Well, I don't want to wait too long. So you can write your answer anyway. To get by. So me las apaño. I get by. Okay. So this one, it's when, you have just enough of something to survive. So it's really common actually to use this one when you're talking about languages. So for example, I have enough Spanish to get by in Spain. Well, to be honest, I have more than enough Spanish to get by in Spain. But let's say 3 years ago when I first came to Spain, I just got by. We're in the past. I just got by with my Spanish. I was just able to communicate with people more or less. There weren't huge problems. I got by, and now I have more than enough to get by. I'm fine. Maybe I could say I have just enough Portuguese to get by in Portugal. My Portuguese is just about good enough to get by in Portugal. I could get by in Germany because I don't speak German, but I speak English, and most German people speak English. So I think I could get by in Germany. You see, these are some nice examples, right? So me las apaño. I get by. You could also use this in like a financial way, oh, he doesn't have enough money to get by for the rest of the month. He can't survive for the rest of the month on what money he has. It's just an example, okay? And we'll do one more phrasal verb with get. I like this one actually. Vaya al grano. Ir al grano. It's more of an expression using get. Ir al grano. I'm telling someone, vaya al grano. To get to the point. So, ir al grano. Get to the point. You're telling someone, maybe you might want to say it to me. Maybe I'm explaining things too much. I'm rambling. Come on, Hannah, get to the point. Y ya. Ir al grano. That's it. So get to the point. maybe a little bit direct. Some people might perceive it as a little bit rude, but I think you're okay. So today we've practiced a lot of different uses of the verb to get on this little live. Thanks for everyone who joined today. Had a couple of messages, so thanks for watching. And don't forget about our online academy, the gym. The link is here in the chat, and you have such a great opportunity to join the gym and have classes every day from Monday to Friday. I mean, this is the best way for you to practice your English with a native speaker, have corrections, feedback in real time. You have the best opportunity with us. So make sure that you check out that link there. Hisco, thanks for watching, Hisco. And yeah, have a lovely evening, everyone. Keep practicing your English y nos vemos en clase. Ciao.